Welcome everyone. Thank you for your patience then. I'm in an hour in whether I should come on or not, and I've had this all day really. It's all the last few months has been I guess biblical for myself. And I say biblical, it's the text which just confirm everything to my experience. And it's the text that helped me just appreciate how simple truth is. And also it helped humble me in the fact that I didn't know a lot of this stuff. And on the positive side too, that I didn't have a conditioning, I didn't have any kind of held on beliefs and passed on beliefs for stories. I've just come in as a neutral. So it's been a lot easier to process. And the last 2 weeks, especially, and this is where we'll go on tonight, it's really just helped put things into a lot more simple context to see the biblical nature within this. Also, again, that simple part to all of truth. And when it comes to the biblical scriptures, how overcomplicated these people that have been passing down the messengers and these people that preach the word of Jesus Christ as our Saviour and all the anger and stuff comes with it. When you start seeing it, it's so simple. And what I love about all this, it keeps re-emphasizing that Christ is within us, that God's kingdom is within us, that we have to do the work, that we cannot get there unless you let go. Let go of the body and the mind, you die, and become one with the spirit, the spiritual being. That's meditation. All the teachings, no matter how it's delivered, if it comes from that God space, it's God's teachings. And when we can start going back now, looking at all creation, you'll see that God's messages are in all of it. Every lyric to every song, if you think it's about a woman or a man, change the perspective and it's God speaking to you. Again, completely different outlook on things. So for me, I'd come on to Rumble today and to catch up with everyone here. And I'm going to share some of the videos from The Chosen. The Chosen has been amazing because it's helped, again, just bridge everything together. It definitely has made me a lot more interested in going back and really paying attention to the scriptures now because I have something to attach it to. There's references in there all the way through, and again, it's helped simplify things a lot more. The beauty of where we are right now, it is a war on Christ consciousness. It's a war on our consciousness. It's a war on God. It's stopping people reaching God or being God or knowing thyself, God. It's a distraction, and God's so simple. Again, everything that we see is God, even the darkness is God's story, but it's been taken away from us. And it's the self that has to bring it back. So these programs, again, being released where we are right now, all done by design. When you start seeing the simplicity of these teachings, you can see every aspect of society of where there has been deception. You'll see how interpretation is the only way that we can deliver the Bible. You get people so caught up on the word of the Bible, yet every message that's been passed down has always been a teaching. It's always been a different perspective. It's always been kind of edited and adjusted so it fits the audience. I said it the other day on my talk. You don't read the whole Bible to a kid. You tell stories from the Bible, but you're telling stories. That's what the Bible is. It's stories for ourselves. And you're going to see the whole nature of all of this now, where Jesus Christ, the Saviour, and born-again Christians, and this criminal syndicate that use Jesus Christ as the character to get away from people knowing what their true agenda is. So that leads to Christ, the Muslim Brotherhood, and all the things that we're seeing on the land. Israel, God Israel, the Holy Land, Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. All that is just a story being painted for us to get the grasp of. All that evil that lurks around them has always been stopping Christ. All the barbaric acts on humanity, women, animals, slavery, all the way down starts from up there. So even on God's creation, we're getting a story being painted to us to really understand that these people are doing all they can to defeat God, to stop people reaching Christ. And every war and every generation since has had their own story of it. It's just labeled as crime. Nazis and Germany in the war, it'd still be used as a way that they're stopping people finding God. What I also love about all of the chosen is it kind of puts people in a bit of a predicament from the truth movement that do preach Jesus Christ, but are not on the right side, because more than ever, we need to get people more educated on this, especially someone like myself and the masses that don't really come from a religious upbringing, don't really know the story too much, but like embedded in this truth. Like, it's important to know our history. It also then allows people to come forward and see how it all connects. Where it also shows you is that how we are still attached to the word, and it has to be that even within this. Where it also shows you as someone comes along like Jesus of Nazareth, which they really keep emphasizing, that is how he was named as Jesus as of Nazareth. He wasn't accepted at all, even though he's performing miracles in front of people. He wasn't accepted. No, he's doing witchcraft, he's doing blasphemy. That's exactly what we're seeing in this world now. Things are being put on a plate for people and they can't accept it. No. Truth movement, exactly the same here. You're seeing that in this. And the thing above anything else is perspective. Perspective is God. The only way that you can look through the eyes of God is actually take yourself there. You imagine that state. The only way you can know God is when you look through the eyes of other people, because God is all things. If you just look through your own eyes, you've got the most limited perspective in life there is. And even if you feel like you've done a lot in life, it's the most limited perspective, because God is so much more superior to one individual. God is so much more superior than human race. God you cannot put it into words. So if you're only looking for a perspective, your thoughts, your words, your explanations, the way that you tell your stories is based on your experience, which again is so limited compared to what we are capable of and what we can do. So it helps people see it through perspectives. And what I love more about this than anything else is the acting is okay. It's just the way that it's being delivered. And it helps you look at life through different perspectives. There'll be a mum, there'll be a brother, there'll be someone, a dedicated student, there'll be someone who was a tax collector and he was hated and people keep bringing up his past. You'll see the Romans, which again, my naivety to all this, I didn't have a clue about timelines and stuff, and I didn't realize the Romans were the same time as Jesus. Again, oblivious to all that. That helps me connect a lot more too. And the other thing, Jesus Christ. So I take the truth movement. There's a lot of things that I don't feel that people even take the time to look at certain stuff, but willing to argue. On here, it's very different. People have been following me for a while, so you can see I put my stuff out there. You get so many smarmy comments from people as well, like, what do you know, all the soul coach and stuff like this. And here's a comment quite a lot. I've been doing this a lot longer than you. I'm 36 years old and don't even get accepted at all just to listen to truth that's put forward. Jesus was 33 years old, so as a young man, he's performing miracles in front of people and they weren't even giving them the time of day at all. And it was almost like, well, it was, God was working through him and people didn't even accept it. It was there, physically in front of them. So my thing to put out first of all is when they say Jesus is coming down and Christ is going to return and Jesus will save us and all these different stories of it, how would you know if Jesus was even here? How would you know that he's come down? Because we can't even see the most simple, clear-sighted thing in the world is love. We can't even see that. I'm watching people and it's like, how are you not understanding the concept of this? It's a feeling. None of that rings true at all. They're stuttering, they're uncomfortable, they're angry, they curse all the time. It's not love. So it's not God. So if Christ come down, because I asked that question, okay, if Christ comes down, what's he look like? What happens? If Christ is that powerful, Christ energy is here already. How would you even know? We cannot accept just information from people which is coming from God's space. Creation is literally everywhere we look now. People are not even able to accept that or comprehend that. The chosen, even this program that I'm going to show a few on, that's creation. So advanced creation compared to what we were provided even 20 years ago. Look at the technology. That's all creation. That's all God. Sports, if you just look at performers on the sports fields, and every single sport that, like people in the Olympics and the ultra adventure races and the Red Bull games and stuff, some of these things that people do is only God could do that. You look in amazement and it's like, whoa, what are we able and capable of if we work in that space? So we're seeing it everywhere, but yet we can't accept that as God. We can't accept that as Christ. We argue with that. No, 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 that's not it. What else is it? If you're in complete flow and complete harmony, time disappears. You feel the energy. You connect with others doing what you love doing. There's a passion there. What else is it? It's God. It's Christ. So people are waiting and people are saying, no, no, no. But what is God if you're saying no? God knows all. God created all. God is all. It's God's story. We are the souls of the story, the sons of God, made in his image. And there's a dark and light. And he realized in his creation, first of all, we give free will. First of all, we let things unfold. Oh, if you give free will and they're a bit lost and confused, they don't know who I am. So he then does an upgrade. DNA, Jesus, the story. It's in the blood. We're all descendants of Christ. Even for people that have been told anything else, even people that are part of the children of the dark, and even people are still performing things like that. If you look at the generations, we're all Christ. We've just had the life sucked out of us, and you can see dark versus light in people. It's nothing to do with your blood type, because God is that powerful. If you're doing the work of God, that light switches on, enlightenment, light bulb moment, that spark. It's all within us. It always has been. The reason why it's not is the stories that other people have on you. It's blackmail. It's things you've done in your past that you haven't come forward from. If you just went with God, everything would change. It's people know information, which is God. But that's not God, just having knowledge, having gnosis. You have to be in that space. You have to have the experience to be able to attach the meaning to then make sense of it. That's all mind, body, soul. Experience is the soul. To make sense of it is senses inside your body. And to make those senses is the mind through your thoughts. So the mind gives meaning. You have to have the experience first. We all learn all this stuff. And we take other people's words and we're waiting for a say because someone else said, or you're fearful of burning in damnation and hell and stuff because, oh, that book, because you've been told it from a different perspective. Interesting. I just listened into your last show and here you are live for the first time for me. Welcome, welcome, September. Hi, Harry. Do you feel Jesus performed miracles or did he know how God works and he showed people they have God power inside them? It's a good question. Some of the things we show it on here today, some of the clips, is faith. If God works through you, God is your body, people. Your body is your dog, your pet dog. The mirror of dog is God. Your body is a miracle. It does everything on its own. It's so advanced that they're still learning about it. It's so advanced that when they do learn about it, they then recreate it using technology to then put things out there, which is the image of God, internet. And all these new technologies is based on us. Med beds, oh, we can heal. We can tap into that. So Jesus performed miracles because God is the miracle. You. Jesus showed faith and Jesus looks at people and knows, not believes, knows he can do it. When you harness that energy, and again, this is why I encourage people meditation. Come on, some of my creative ones as well. You get that imagination, especially I've got one called the medbed. You feel it all happening. That's a medbed. If you're feeling that it's taking place, that's what your soul is doing for you. So yes, Jesus performed miracles because he knew how to tap into it. If people have been in that space in the meditation, that is a miracle. Some of the things that people come out with, that only can be a miracle. Miracles are so simple too. They're magical. It's just normally we're distracted on life that we don't even see them. And when they do come, we kind of throw it off or bounce it off with just a little word or phrase. Aha, that was a sign. Oh, what a coincidence. No, that's leaving messages for you right there. And the more of a knowing, that only can come from people seeing it and experiencing it firsthand. And there's going to get to the point where we're starting to believe in it so much that it becomes normal. And it's the standing on the truth. People are unable to stand on their words, even though they know it's true, because of the fear of what it brings from other people. That's the same with God. God working through you in any other time in history, you'd be taken out. People try to hunt you down for spreading the word of truth, for creating things that are going to help humanity. They do all they can to destroy it, disrupt it. They create disease. It's all God's creation. They're doing all they can to tamper with it. And God is that powerful. I even use the sugar. We say sugar's bad. It's bad for us. It makes us fat. Only from those words. Why do you think they're so frightened of sugar? It performs miracles. It's at its finest. It's at the pH level. It's at that molecule. If you looked at it and knew it did wonders for you with your intention, it would go like that. I like using the endurance athletes. If you look at cyclists, what are they drinking non-stop? Sugary drinks, energy drinks. What is that? Pure sugar. Are they fat? No. It all gets burned off. Energy, instant. Why do you think they have it on there? That's God. But someone said sugar is bad for you, and then they make all the marketing bad. In that one chocolate bar that you get, look at it, there's pixels, loads of little pixels. In my vision, God is always in my vision. So in this bar, this is my vision. There's 100 pixels. One of them is God. I look at that one there and I talk to it. I'm going to enjoy this. You're going to leave what's good for me in the body. My body will deal with the rest, and we can all enjoy this together. God, the sugar daddy. Exactly. And all these sort of things, it's our words that give it the label. So if you know that food is energy, when it's refined like that, it can be bad or good. Again, it's the power that we give it. Bless your foods. Put your energy into it. Put your intentions into it. It's energy. It breaks down in your body. You just got to pay attention. It's like if you were, I know in Japan they have those fish and sushi that if you cut in the wrong place, it's got the point people can die from it. So you pay attention. You make sure you do what you need to, or your life can go. If you're doing adventure sports, you have to pay attention. You have to be present. It's the same when you're eating foods. I'm really bad for it. I scoff food down. I've always called food fuel, so I don't get fat. But I don't pay attention to a lot of the time, and I work on it so much. I also come to my conclusion the other day, I like my food warm. So some people can just they leave it there and they have a little chit chat and stuff. I'm seeing the steam disappear. It's going down me. I've lived the life as a personal trainer, so it's from one session to the other. I had 5 minutes to get my food down me. I've done 12-hour adventure race in Ireland. You have to get whatever food you can. I did the London to Brighton. My legs physically cramped up. I had 2 Lucasades on the spot, and then it completely changed. It's very interesting, but that's all your body. It's all fuel. It's all energy. If we break down God energy, Christ energy, our inner body is energy, our spirit is energy, is all energy. So if I speak to my body, I notice my soul, I remind my mind with good words, positive thoughts, all that energy manifests. So everything that we do, we have the power to it. So I've I have followed you for over a year. I love your energy. Thank you for being you. Thank you so much, Patrick from Holland. Hi, Wigspot. Good to have you on. Through breatharians and those fasting have amazing energy too. Yeah. And all we got to realize as well, food is a component of energy. Cannabis oil, my body can just thrive just on that. It energizes you. Your endocannabinoid system is energy. When you look at the breath, it ignites your endocannabinoid system. It's energy. If you was to shake someone up, if you was to get someone in a festival, we get someone in a football stadium, your team scores, it's energy. You can shake up any energy. Again, I've used this a number of times. I encourage people, go to your plant or into your plant and then sniff. It comes alive completely. Do it to your tomato. It smells fresh. There's loads you can do. Again, when you said, did Jesus perform a miracle or did he know how God works? If you look at everything as God, then you know how God works. It will work for you. So when you go out, I use my eyes now as my vision. It's like, where's Wally? So in my snapshot vision here, God is always present. I've just got to look for it. If I go hiking, everything is God, and anything that stands out, that means I have to pay attention to it. I can trust and let go. I'm with God. When I'm in the city, for example, it's a lot more chaotic. There's a lot more ego and thoughts and noise and distractions. Still God. I have to pay attention. So it's magic. Yeah, copper wire is good for plant growth. Yeah, all these sorts of things. Copper, if you break it down to the pH, these are all components of God. Magnesium. Why is a lot of our waters, it has all the metals in there? Because at the finest form, we're all the same. They're all components. It all works with energy, vibration. It matter. What is the matter? Mind over matter. Matter is the physical, mind over the body. So it gets exciting where you can look at all different things and break it down and see you're an image of that in some way. There's a teaching for you. There's a construction showing how we work. There's a connection. It's all powerful. So all paths lead to Christ. Jesus, the story of Jesus and Christ consciousness is a rising consciousness. It's a Christ mass awakening. It's an awakening to Christ within us. This is what God is. When you are in that Christ space, when you release the chrism oil, Christos, when you have all that, you are one with God. Because to be in that space, you only can be in God's space. It only can come from love. It only can come from creation. And then it's the consistency to stick at that. That is a daily, I'm going to call it a routine, but I call it a soulful essential. You start the day, few intentions. Give your body some appreciation. Look at your body. Give it some instructions. Maybe give it some kindness and give it some self-love. Maybe a bit of a massage, a bit of a stretch. Energy around the body. Your body likes to energize, exercise, hiking. All these things is still being with God. That's why they don't like people doing all these sports, is because you have to be in your God space for that. And they try to corrupt you once you get there. And if people do get corrupted, that are meant to be the next best thing, you see, they never make it in the end. A lot of the things become automatic. And it's only at that finest, highest level where you are in complete flow. Mind has to be out of the way on all these things. And that's why people like Messi and Ronaldo have been at it for the longest. It's a knowing. They know they're the best. They don't get injured, but yet they get kicked the most. Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Messiah. They know how to tap into that to be the best. To be the best, you have to ask God. But you have to put it out in some way. You have to have it as that knowing. Why are kids, why do they lose it? Because as a kid, you do think you're the best. You are told you're the best. You're told you've got so much potential. And they get to a certain age and boom, you're useless. You've got to pay these bills. You've got to feed your kids. All these other things get in the way. And then the lack of self-belief, you've lost that inner child, that inner spark. Mainstream news has been interesting. It has indeed. And it's all leading us to this domino effect now. And Trump's out a lot more outspoken. Epstein every single day. It's like the Twitter files now. Now we're seeing the misinformation. Now we're seeing the misreporting. Now we're seeing the triggers. People still talking about civil war. Like, you're not on the same team if you're mentioning civil war. With a controlled opposition. No, we're in full control. We're controlling all of it. We are having floods here in the UK. I can imagine there's clear out things happening all the time. I've had so many different crazy insights with what is going on too, which I still need to process a bit. But today, my book, I was on my meditation this morning, and it was like, listen up. And the next words that come out, who else do you think it is? Almost like, what was that? Is God speaking to me? But it was so powerful. Listen up. And it told me a lot of things what are happening at the moment, but loud. And I love those internal conversations, because sometimes you giggle because it's God's sense of humor. And you're like, it's cheeky. It's a reflection of your personality at times as well. And I wrote a lot down today. The film and the Netflix Leave the World Behind. There's a lot of things that are mirroring that at the moment. I also tapped into how we're using quantum and AI throughout the whole of this. It's all connected. So the AI and quantum capabilities could tell you, and especially if you look at the truth movement, I like using that because we've been in it. If you looked at the story of Biden in his basement, and then Obama is in his basement, is putting in the basement, all these truthers have all been in their basement effectively, constantly showing up all the time, doing their lives, doing their shows, but they're in the same place, they're in the same location, they're being watched. So if you looked at then how AI works and how quantum works, AI, first of all, would be mirroring the person to the point now you can make AI movies. Remember, they're telling us Tom Hanks AI, and no, it's showing us that these lives potentially all could be AI. No, I saw a photo of them and they would, yeah, obviously that would be AI. It's being done on us. And I've realized that from my own journey of where I'd be training someone in recruitment, and he's doing 5 times a week, like about 1,500 quid a week he was spending. And he was just a geezer from Scotland. He was recruiting for me, I realized. And I realized how all of that works now. So they come to you and you see these big high flyers and these big jobs and stuff. It's based on you. And this is what now we're spinning it round on them. So AI, first of all, because these interviews are being non-stop continuously, you have every word in their vocabulary. And people on repeat will say the same thing. They know how they speak. They can get the voices. They can get the imagery. You've seen all the technology, but how do we actually know a lot of these people are actually out there? The quantum would then be able to quantify all things. So they would be able to see, who have they interacted with for the last 3 years? Let's see those conversations. Who have they actually met in the physical? How many people are they meeting each week? Family members, friends, work colleagues. Because the more in the truth movement, the less in the physical we're meeting each other. You speak to people on text. You might do a video call every now and then. You might see an image pop up or a video that they do. How do you know that that's all real? Oh, I spoke to them. Yeah, AI. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. How do you know? Think about it logically. And if you look at it from the way that they're taken out, this person has no interaction. This person has an account where we can't even actually see him. Let's take it over. Let's continue putting that message out there all the time, because it still allows these people that think they're in full control, which they're not, even though you can clearly see that God wins, Trump's in control, military, but yet their egos got the better of them. They could be actually on their own, leave the world behind. They're talking to no one, really. Things to think about. Well, this all come to me today of how quantum works. And if you really think about it logically, that's not even hard to do. If you looked at the technology to take out the mafia in New York in the 80s, they've had many, many years, about 40 years since, to really focus on that. AI has been around for a long time. AI is going to be so dangerous, yeah, for them. I know people that, or we're told that they died. People that I've actually met in person, done a number of vaccine center close downs, done some lives with them. Even did on my podcast when I set it up. They supposedly died, but their accounts are still going. They're not going to tell you they've been replaced with AI. Things to think about. So when the mainstream news is where we're at the moment with the Epstein and stuff, it's mainstream news or it's the truth. It's the same thing now. That's never happened. It's now, though, all these things, it's all timelines are emerged. That's what it is. So the way that we're always picking up the information and we're getting it from the same people, you have to really now pay attention to this information. The Epstein list already, we've seen Jimmy Kimmel. We've seen a few names mentioned. Why are they on the list? But people actually haven't gone and looked at it at all. Jimmy Kimmel's not on the three documents that have been released so far for the last few days. It's not on it. Kevin Spacey is on the list. No, there was a question. Did you meet Kevin Spacey? No. So things like that, you have to go and look. So yes, we've got used to getting information a certain way, but now you have to confirm it yourself because it's one or the other. If the timelines are emerged, it is one or the other. My advice, mainstream media, because they're taking down people down a whole road, and we've seen how much that changing. Fake news, we're in control. I'd be going straight to there. I go on BBC website every day just to see what they show in the world. And the Epstein stuff, look at their articles versus some of the ones that you are seeing. You're like, okay, that's interesting. And then you have to find the people that there's Technofog on Twitter who's doing some really good breakdowns of the documents and backing it up with the stuff, like the images. But there's loads of documents. So again, we have to take things with a pinch of salt. Thought about what you said about things going all over the world. It's interesting indeed. And we're all being shown different things, completely different things. Like the Five Eye countries, we're all going through this and we control all the media and stuff as well. It's military. So all these enemy countries, they haven't got a clue what's going on. They're getting shown something else. It's mostly bigging up their ego and it's like with the Palestine stuff. Do you think Frazzle Drip, adrenochrome trade, underground cities, hybrid humans is psyop? Yeah. Forward by David Steele. Yeah, and Jim Caviezel, Sound of Freedom, Epstein, blockchain, dark web. We've created them all. Creation is God's creation. We've created it all and given it to them. Twitter. Look who's got it now. So you let them have time, which was their concept, it's illusion. And over a number of generations, you let them get consumed with it. Adrenochrome, knowing that all these people who broke away and went into the truth movement to hide from their old past, especially with the Robert David Steele stuff, they were told, talk about the paedophiles, talk about adrenochrome, talk about Mike Pence, talk about Frazzle Drip. So they screamed loud, like so loud, and more of us got involved. We saw the names like Tom Hanks, Helen DeGeneres, Oprah, and then you start looking at it, pulled more people in because of them screaming it. The 850,000 kids in America go missing every year. You can't find that stat anywhere. Anywhere. Go on a human trafficking action plan. It was like 86,000. And it wasn't like they've been all kidnapped and stuff either, compared to 850,000. So it's been so exaggerated, so over the top. But it's because people were screaming like that. And it's because these topics are so bad that more people got involved. And it is all about the kids, the children. The children, though, that's the deception word as well. We got to save the children. Some people are talking about the children of the darkness, our children. Yeah, they're people. And you saw that really evidently in the Hawaii fires. And even the funny thing where Oprah donated $10 million of her own money and she still gets, she's evil, look at her, see? Why is she taking money? She's just donated $10 million. But yet, it's like the logic that people can't see through. The Tom Hanks stuff is, it's so predictive programming. Like I reshare all the ones because there's no new stuff. You don't learn anything about Tom Hanks. You're learning more about Biden and uranium one and all these Chinese deals and Ukraine. We've constantly learned there's nothing on Tom Hanks since. Yeah, he's the worst, the worst. And again, you know my stance on it, but it's the same things that keep happening. You post it all. Well, what about Cappy? What about just watch the research? It says it on the caption. Just go and watch the research. No, no, you think you're right. No, no, I'm just saying, watch the research because all you keep doing, like everyone else, like I wrote in the caption, you're on repeat, you're a parrot. You keep saying different points, but you're not actually watching the video and commenting on that. Yeah, Chet Hanks taken out. It's AI, it's a clone. Who's done the cloning? Who's controlling the clone? Can you confirm the clone? Oh, it's obvious. Australia, you see it all in the thing. Like Gitmo taken out, like it's the same stuff. Just go watch it, covered all the stuff. So that's been interesting, but there's no willingness to like zoom out. That's an amazing story that we've had these actors that have been acting outside of the movie because really life is the movie, and they've done this to help us find God, to help us expose evil, to trick people into. That's clever. People don't even have that logic to go, yeah, actually. And my question about Tom Hanks to all of you, when you first heard about Tom Hanks, when you first heard about it, Tom Hanks is a pedo. I remember going, what? Tom Hanks, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, look at his things. And you're kind of like, oh, let me just prove that you're wrong. And then you start going, hang on a minute. Everyone had that reaction. Everyone did. That's done deliberately. But yet people can't see before that. And again, you can't even find anything bad on Tom Hanks. Look at all this stuff. You can't find anything bad. You see all the connecting of the dots and all the things that we all saw and did the work ourselves. And everyone stopped doing the work after that. It's clear to see. And it's the anger that comes with it. That part now is so apparent. And that part now doesn't seem to be changing if people are not willing to do the work. Willing to do the work now is just going on and just confirming things yourself instead of just saying the same old stuff. With the Epstein things at the moment, oh, why was he on the list? Why were they in the island? Why? And they're quoting some lists that no one's seen. Just regurgitating what other people have said is same thing. And we're at this stage now where everything we've been shown is a lie done by design. Many of the people that are out at the moment are not on our side. Many of the famous people, the politicians, no, they're not on our side. Carrie Lake, not on our side. Oh, they're not on our side. That's the shock factor, even for people that think they're awake and know what's going on. And then it's the comments, the regular ones where people say, oh, some people are never going to wake up. They're not waking up. That comment shows that you're not awake by continuing to say they're not awake because you don't know what's going on. You don't understand the darkness of this whole system. And I feel that it's been done like this on purpose so we all get the soul slap. And we can pull ourselves out from that a lot quicker, knowing that we've already gone through it. And really, the comment and the statement should be, which I'm sure most people, anything could happen now. It wouldn't surprise me. I know a lot of people have said that one. We're a lot more open to that. And people on this show, you wouldn't be watching this all the way through unless you are a spy still, and I don't know who you're spying for. I'd say give it up because you will go to the FEMA camps. You literally got no power. You're powerless, and it's cowardless if you're still doing that now. I know some people do it, but that's a small majority. Remember, they're feeding back in. Everyone else on here seems to be just interested in learning. Do you have to believe it all? No, but you watch it all because I feel like I do back up everything that I share. And I know what I do a lot more now is really share my experiences. And it's my connection with God. And it's the things that I'm learning and I'm seeing it from a different perspective. I like to share that on here too. So pay attention to all this now, people. All of this is our awakening. All of this is our growth. All of this is our soul learning who it really is. It's remembering. All of this feels like we're going to get a moment with God. It feels like there is this sort of reset. And the ones in that love space, almost like we get teleported into the world that's waiting for us. That's what it feels like. And this police state is the world that's being left behind with the people that chose to live those lives, but they don't get the luxury of conning the people next. These are the things that come up for me. It's like a matrix within a matrix. Perfectly said, and good to see you, Marge. True awakening is nothing appearing as everything. There's nothing happening. Yeah, yeah. And even beyond that is it just is. There isn't any even words. It's just rolling out. There is only love. Yeah. It's just a waterfall of love. So mention the word matrix within a matrix. One of the Q posts says 5% of people will never wake up. For me, that is the people in the truth movement. The people that have actually stepped out of the matrix and now they're looking into it and looking into all this information. They found their ones, but they've stepped into a deeper matrix. That's the point of this, is we've been willing to make a choice and now we're stuck, and people don't want to be wrong twice. For me, it's not being wrong, it's being right. You made the right choice and now it's getting what we've asked for. If you ask for the truth, all you get is darkness. That's powerful. At the moment, if you look, the white hats have taken God out of all things. The CIA, one of their action plans is that everything that you see on TV is a lie and people believe it. That's done by us. Why? Block the skies out. Why? Again, you can look at different meanings. You're removing God out. Take cannabis away. The plant from God. Take God out of films. Take God out of the speeches. The evil people think that they're in control of this decision. No, that's done by us. Why? Because if you're hand or spoon-fed God, like we're seeing with this information, people just get lazy and complacent and people get deceptive. So you take it all out and then, like the truth movement, you take it out of that matrix. You have to come in here to do it. So you only can go to God yourself, which is the biggest teaching out of all of this. And I've got some good stuff today. So I'll go through, I'm going to share some of the clips from The Chosen. And this is really focusing on that because it's a must watch. I feel if I share some of the clips, people that are not interested in the Bible will get more interest. People that are watching this now, there's an interest in truth. That is Bible, that is God, that is Christ, that is everything that we're experiencing in our life. That's truth. It's in our life. It's not about the past because it's not in our life now. The past adds to it, but the past is just a concept. If God is sugar, then a spoonful of sugar helps medicine go down. I love that. Can you see, like, there's loads of different things that we can go back on now. It's like, oh, they'd be terrible. And you would really go, of course, God made it. When we say coffee is really bad for us, I reckon we're going to see some truth when, well, there was an element in that coffee that if these liberals that love their coffee didn't have that, they would be really screwed. So the coffee was the thing that made them at least a tiny bit alert. There'll be things with it. They're all foods, natural from the world. People that we've been learning from over the years saying that's bad. Bluetooth is bad. Blue is the color of God. Tooth, I've learned now, when you lock your jaw, that's my neutral phase. I feel the energy flow up. That's the gate to stop it coming out. And when I close my eyes, my whole mouth vibrates with my third eye, with my heart. So that is a gate. So I encourage people, and also from this space, my energy is my breath. I can control. I don't waste any breath anymore. I also can now breathe without moving. And I can get to the point where my breath is like this, minimal breath. I can stay like that. You could put me, do a Houdini and you put me underwater. I could live off that breath. And I do my meditations where it feels like I'm not breathing. So you keep it all within. It's magic, it's energy. And when it's silence, all it is God. I love coffee and I feel I should stop drinking it. So my encouragement is, where does the I should come from? And really try to focus on that question. Because there's certain things like with foods, and I love my chocolate. I know when I'm putting on weight. I know I've got certain parts of my love handles, that area, I can see it. Would other people say I'm fat? No, but I can see it, I can feel it. And I know it's when I overindulge in things like that. So there's certain things say I should stop, I shouldn't have this. And I still put on I shouldn't have this before I've eaten it. So I change it. The other side of it, then I will be doing more with my body. To be more energetic, I need to exercise, which then allows me to burn that off. So there's loads. You can breathe through the pores of your skin, indeed. And this is the thing as well, 50 trillion cells, they're all individuals. So light goes through. If you look at earth, wind, fire, the burning desire in you, the twin flame, like all of that is within you. When I go in my meditations now, I know what that fire is. There is a fire in my belly. There is this flame, eternal flame. I feel it now. I feel the lantern. I feel the light bulb. Our bodies evolve like technology has, but you can still go back to the basics. I like to use the streets where you see all the wires across the telephones, and now the new ones where you don't see any. That's our body. We don't need all the wiring in there anymore if we started working with it. Slip up on my words, but I really am. Um, uh, and if you want to do it, set that as an intention. So we'll come back to the Bible because we can talk about all this stuff all the time. And the biblical texts. I've done a number of breakdowns on things like this because people tell you a certain way. If you just go and look at the text, it's magical, it's simple, and only we can take the teachings from it. If you look at the way it's written, it has been written in a way where we would say, oh, it dates back and stuff. It's done deliberately because even in there it says, if you want God, you need to take the interpretations. You can't just have it easily done. Most people switch off straight away. I find it hard to read the Bible beforehand because I didn't really have a grasp of the stories or any of the teachings. Now, just from watching The Chosen, just from watching it, the book of Matthew has made so much sense. Even the Gospels, where I've said, well, this was written 65 years after Jesus died, and this is written, all of these are stories written for our awakening anyway. The story of Christ and the timelines, it doesn't matter about time. The other thing that I said, which is quite cool, 65 years after Jesus had died, 110 years, the book of John after Jesus' death. But I'm using time as a concept. We're immortal beings. There would have been no thing as 1, 2, 3, 4. You're 100 years old. You're this. You'd have just been there. So we can, in history, add in it was about 110 years. So it was around about this time. It was around about. It's just spinning around. It doesn't like, so you could say 110 years. That wouldn't have meant anything. Again, we have to write the history because things that come first, people believe and hold on to. In this show, it shows you even the Pharisees. I didn't know what that was. And then you can relate the Pharisees to the Muslim Brotherhood and how they say, oh, no, Allah said this. You can now relate that to the LDS Church. You can now relate that to the Catholics and all the Jesus worshippers and say, it doesn't say that in the Bible. It's not what they're looking at it word for word. So everything mirrors now, everything. And what's even funnier is that the people that have been holding on to this Bible are now writing in The Chosen is blasphemy. They've told the story wrong. They haven't done it all. And they're not looking at it. It's just more things to back up and confirm what truth is, our experience in life, what truth is our connection with others, what truth is our faith, what truth is, it shows you what they could do with faith, which then in like ignites our imagination to know that we can do that. Let God through. Look, God can do anything. So again, it's just keep re-emphasizing it. I can strongly recommend to watch it. And also some of the scriptures from the book of Matthew now I can put into here and back up all the things because it's in the Bible. But also now reading and listening to the books, I'm like, I know that scene. And then the book of Mark, which is the next one, talks about the same events. Some of the things are pretty much exactly the same, just worded differently. Whereas before I'm like, oh, it's one book and it's another story. They're the Gospels that wrote about their experiences. So when they say it's the word of Christ, no, they've listened to what Christ was saying in his teachings and they put it down as closely as they can. But you can, again, never take that as the full truth. It's the words of God, which means God speaks through. You could say the words of God are coming out of me now. That's God's space. They cannot be a full truth, though. They're descriptions of an experience, of an insight, of a past, and you put it into words. It's creation. The same when people go into their songs and they start singing. It's God speaking through them. It's impressive when God can sing through people. It hasn't worked his magic on that one with me yet, but I've got to fine-tune my body a bit more. So let's go into, I'll go start with the text. So I will share some of the things today from the show, because I think it gives you guys a bit of a way to grasp some of the stories as well. I don't want to spend too long on today's video. It's more of an intro. So if we go, so we're going to just start off with, so everything I've done on just these few quotes are from the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but mainly Matthew. Again, I haven't really touched on it too much. For nothing will be impossible with God. So having faith all the time. And this is one of the opening chapters in the book of Matthew, which was the first gospel. And I'll read it to you, and then I'll play you the clip where it actually says it all. But what I love about films and movies and box sets, you see the perspective with the words on top. For people that just hold on to the words, someone's had to read it to you. And then after, someone's had to explain to you what that means. And then over time, you've taken on that meaning, maybe adjusted it slightly, but it's still words. There's so much more to life than words. Words is just one way we can layer the image in front of us. You can put things into words to describe moments. So, and this is what I love about it. Jesus, the teacher, all people, even his enemies and stuff, because he trusted God that much. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven keeps getting referred to in the show and also in the book. The kingdom of heaven is that 33rd degree space. It's that rising up to the illuminated pyramid where you get out of the body, you cross over, where you come down into the body, you go up the chakra systems, and you cross over at the crown chakra, you become king, the halo. That's the kingdom of heaven. As soon as you're there, you see God's story. And you start getting these, people call them downloads and insights. You just get shown. And you get shown by you being the questioner. You ask questions and you get taken there. So I'll read it all again and I won't interrupt this time. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs in kingdom of heaven. So again, nice words, doesn't really have too much meaning to it. And he's gone out with Matthew, who was a tax collector, and let's show this one. And what I love about it is the way that he gets his inspiration. The images of the people that pop up in this are the disciples. It's the people that he asked to follow him.
Matthew. Matthew.
Bye-bye.
I've got it.
The opening?
Yes.
What is it?
A map.
The what?
Directions. Where people should look to find me.
Okay. Give me a moment. ready? Rabbi?
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven.
Yes. But how is it a map?
If someone wants to find me, those are the groups they should look for.
And then?
You are the salt of the earth.
It gives me tingles now. And another thing, people, as well, if Christ is within you and you're watching these shows and you feel something speaking directly to you, you're awakening even more. The ringing in your ears and stuff, it's a lot more than ringing. You're a light being. That's God. That's Christ. As it rises up, it's going to ring more because we're leaving the body. You then embrace your body so much more when you're in it, because the kingdom of heaven, those meditation spaces, that is where you want to be spending a lot of the time. And yeah, for me, it really encapsulates everything. So what I loved about that one, interesting how we chose aspects of history to accept those truths. My take is go within the inspiration, the truth will come through. What referred to as New Age is actually old. And yeah, 100%. My ears are ringing so much now. Indeed, Harry, my mood is so low. Trying hard to lift it. Trying so hard. Stop trying. Stop trying. It's not hard to lift yourself. Just go within. My ask Mandy, one meditation for yourself. Take some time for it and just write them down. And also, for me, things like The Chosen, go and watch that. But it's what is happening now. Look where we are. Look at all the crap that's gone on in this world. And we're at a stage where there is this tipping point. It's the precipice. Everything that we've been fighting for over the last 3 years is at that point. That's something where I'm going to say, that mood is low. From what? The tough battles that you've gone through, if you can flip it, you're going to find the strength within that. You're going to find the courage. You're going to find the teachings. You're going to find all of that if you flip it. The opposite of low is high. Say a hi to yourself that's gone through all that. So you're in the right space for it, but no one else needs to lift you up. Just take the time and reflect what you've gone through. and you're still here now. Love this world now. Love that. And that word love as well, we're understanding that even more. So that was the first one. The next one was all these miracles and stuff that Jesus performed. I'm confident when people go into the meditation space and connect with their body, soon we're going to have a lot more understanding of how the body works. And the technology is also going to help assist us to really give us that point where we're so close to God that we still have to do it ourselves. And it's the healing parts on this. And one of them was really cool, where I'll read out a bit of this just to show you how the book reads and how people would switch off and what Pharisees were and the Sabbath and all these things were to do with the law. It was written as the law, 400 years or longer it had gone on for. So people held on to this as doctrine. People hold on to this as a full truth. And if you want to get it against it, it led to death. And women again weren't respected from certain places, and because it was in the text. So this was about the Sabbath, which was like a holy day, and there was 2 scenes from this one, and it's amazing how they show it in the program, and it's the 2 back to back within this passage in the Bible too. At about this time, Jesus was walking through some grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, so they began breaking off some heads of grain and eating them. But some of the Pharisees, which is like the men and priests and the people that have been doing this for a while, the educated, saw them do it and protested, "Look, your disciples are breaking the law by harvesting grain on the Sabbath." And Jesus said to them, "Haven't you read the scriptures, what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went into the house of God, and he and his companions broke the law by eating sacred loaves of bread that only the priests are allowed to eat. And haven't you read the law of Moses, that the priests on duty in the temple may work on the Sabbath? I tell you, there is one here who is even greater than the temple. But you would not have condemned my innocent disciples if you knew the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy, not offer sacrifices, for the Son of Man is Lord, even over the Sabbath." So when people hold on to these days and these rules and stuff, if someone's hungry, someone's hungry. It's like now the world is so much more advanced. No, it's always been that way. No, but it's a better way. You can take that with technology too. The way that cars were made in the olden days, they would no way do it now because it's a better way. The ways that we learn, you wouldn't do it the old way. The ways that we play sports and using like tennis rackets, you can use an old one, but you're never going to compete with the new people. Formula One racing, it's all about the car, the technology, it evolves. All the same thing. So Jesus heals on the Sabbath, and it was their protest, and it was the way that they didn't care who this guy was, even though the talk was getting around, all the healing stories are being shared, and they were just like rage, trying to prove him wrong. And this is a big teaching for all of us. And if you watch The Family on Netflix, it shows you how the criminals have really hijacked religion, and it goes back to the Catholic Church. But the way that they use Jesus Christ as a savior, born again, come back into the world, you're forgiven whatever you've done, just Jesus, just talk about Jesus, the way that they've done all that, when you go and watch this, you'll see how people are so attached to the other person, trying to prove them wrong rather than focusing on themselves. It's the same with trying to stop people so much from finding God and finding out the truth, that they're going against all what the truth is because they're so invested in someone else. And there's actually a nice scripture in this one. Hypocrisy. So woe to you, scribes, which is people that were in control of the text, and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You shut the kingdom of heaven in men's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those who wish to enter. So it's showing you that, again, truth movement, if they can't be with God, they're doing all they can to stop you, to corrupt you, to deceive you, to put you in prison, so you then have to sell your soul. They do all they can to stop you doing it. And can you see how the focus is all on other people? not actually focusing on the individual. And here's another one, actually, because a few people have been triggered when I call the people out in the truth movement, and people have changed, people change. People can take that personally. All they want is the system I'm calling out, and they haven't acknowledged that, they haven't addressed that. It's the system. If you're part of it and you have changed, you haven't brought that up, and the world are finding out about the system. So that's still coming out regardless. People can hide it. People try to make amends and stuff. Yeah, great. But there's a lie in there somewhere. The full truth is the individual where it comes through. It's energy. People are going to be able to ask any question they want soon. As the AI improves, you're not being able to hide it. So people can get caught up. But if that lie is still there, and this is what happens, the lie is still there. It hasn't been dealt with. People then come after me, trying to shut me up for a lie that they haven't actually dealt with. That lie's crossed paths with me. Something doesn't feel right. I've said something. Yeah, it was people's names, but there is a backstory there which we all can quite clearly see. That needs to be dealt with. So it's the same thing. Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites. It says it quite a lot in this part. For you are like the whitewashed tombs, which indeed appear beautifully outwardly, but inside are full of dead man's bones and uncleanliness. Even so, you also outwardly appear righteous to men, but inside you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. You see that with the deep state? You see that with these liars? You see that? So again, all in the scriptures. So this bit was a real powerful one for me, where he heals a lady who touches his robe. And it's the way that he explains it after. And she's an outcast, she's bleeding, she's got a disease she's had for 12 years, she's not welcome where she goes, just stressed, but still had faith.
No one born of a forbidden union may enter.
Sorry, so this is the Sabbath one first, my bad. So he goes into the middle of nowhere, and he goes into one of the churches where they're doing a ceremony on the Sabbath day. And this guy needs healing. Jesus just does it in front of him. And what's their reaction?
Enter the assembly of the Lord. Even to the 10th generation, none of his descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord. No Ammonite or Moabite may enter the assembly of the Lord. Even to the 10th generation, none of them may enter the assembly of the Lord forever. Because they did not meet you with bread and with water on the way.
Shalom.
Even to the 10th generation, none of them may enter the assembly of the Lord forever.
May I see?
Because they did not meet you with bread and with what? Excuse me, what are you doing?
What is your name? Elam. Your friend Elam has a withered hand.
Are you a healer?
It is not lawful to heal on Sabbath.
Which one of you who has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath will not take hold of it and lift it out?
Who are you to speak to our congregation in such a
Of
way?
how much more value is this man than a sheep?
Stop this at once.
Come here. Come stand here. It's okay.
Elam, sit down. We don't know this person. He could be a shaman.
Is it lawful on Sabbath to do good or to do harm? To save life or to kill?
This affliction does not threaten his life.
It does not even affect his health.
Lift it up. Stretch it out. Feels good, huh?
If he was supposed to be healed, God God would have done it himself.
Interesting point.
Get out!
Gladly.
Blasphemer!
What is wrong with you?
Apparently everything.
Wait! Come back! How dare you!
But regardless of the story or not, you can argue with all these different things. Look what happened and look at people not even paying attention to that. And I like using the truth movement. People share good stuff. No. But look at the stuff. It means we're winning. It means we're in a better space. It means that only good things are happening. No. And they're like just deluded, caught in a matrix. These people are preaching the word of God. The word of God is to help all of God's creation. This man's just been healed and they don't even acknowledge it. It's like deluded. That's the world we live in. We're caught. You saw that in 2020 where people refused to look at the clear, obvious signs that something didn't feel right. No. Same thing. So regardless of what label, what outfit, what country you're in, that happens all across the world. That's happened all across generations. People think they know better. And when it happens in front of them, they can't accept it. So if you say you are depressed, you need a deep rest from whatever you are chasing. If you say you are depressed, if you close your eyes, there's a feeling that's taking place in your body. There's dis-ease, there's a discomfort, there's a disruption. It just feels uncomfortable. Well, there's at ease, there's peace, there's stillness, there's silence, there's a warmth, love, feeling. Love or fear. That's it. You can call that depressed, you can call that anxiety, you can call that hate. I ask people, close their eyes, what's the difference as a feeling from depression to anxiety? What's the difference? It's just a label we've given it, it's uncomfort. In this moment now, how are you feeling? Are you calm in this moment? Don't worry about anything else in this moment. So you're in the right space. The opposite of calm is fear. In this moment. So you're where you're meant to be at the moment. My encouragement is look at all the beautiful things happening. So thank you for sharing right up there in Yes Meditation. I love The Chosen. It really brought the Bible to life, like you said. The other day, after I watched it last year, I purchased a teaching Bible and read most of the New Testament. Perfect, right? And now you've read it. I've gone through, almost completed the book of Mark now. So I've gone through two quickly. I've gone back through Matthew a few times. Even before I go to bed, I've also got the Audible. I just play it. And it's amazing how it's just ringing. And I straight away, I've got an image to go to. You can argue with that all you want, but what is the difference between someone portraying an image to a fat preacher that's got no love coming in and telling you the story of it? There's no difference apart from two different perspectives. I'm choosing the one with love. Remember their stories. Don't have to get complete factual because whole life has been in line. Go within such peace. Love is all around. Attachments, labels, knowings. To labels, knowings. Exactly. Labels is the mind. Words is the mind. It has to be a feeling that then you try to describe. Describes. So I'll show you the next bit, which was after they ran out.
Are they going to send the town guards after us?
I think those guys are the town guards.
Alright, so for those of you who didn't see, first he interrupted the reading simply by standing next to this guy with a paralyzed hand. And then the priest.
What? Reaping or harvesting on Shabbat.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I've been so hungry I forgot what day it is.
You may.
By the way, people, I'm not showing all the good bits. There's 3 seasons of this, the 4th season coming out in February. So I've just picked a few out today, and just to show you how we can match this with the text. And I ain't no Bible basher. I ain't no preacher. I'm not one to. It's just helped me add so much more to what's going on at the moment, and also to be able to stand on my truth, being more informed. And also when people get negative and the anger and the attachment to the story of Christ, I also have references now that I can actually share.
No, get back. Please. Out of the way. You have made a mockery of our little synagogue and of Torah.
You will tell us your name, your lineage, your virtue, and now your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath.
Have you not read what David did when he was in need and was hungry? He entered the house of God in a time of Ahimelech, the priest, and ate the bread of the presence, which was not lawful for him to eat, but only for the priests.
You would compare yourself to David.
It was an emergency.
Or have you not read in the law how on Shabbat the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath, but are guiltless?
That's for Levites. Are you a Levite of priestly lineage?
Listen carefully. Something greater than the temple is here. And if you had known what this means, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless. Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So, the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath.
The Son of Man.
Let's go.
That title, Son of Man, seems to upset a lot of people. Why?
Tell you later.
So can you see there's a lot of teachings, even all these ones that I'm sharing at the moment, and the teachings, what I'm saying is not just the Bible, it's the way that people react and respond. So when they were eating, there was this rule: you can't eat on the Sabbath, or in the gym you can't eat after 4 o'clock, or you can't, all these just rules that people make up. And then we get attached to that. If it doesn't work for us, we are God's. God is within us. Yes, us. Christ within. It's our decision. All of it. You can get someone else to maybe clarify or make a bit more sense and take some more meaning on it. Still our decision. So as soon as Jesus said eat, then they all do it. Because it takes one for someone else. Again, new labels. Sabbath is different for many. I am only one, as I did not relate to the chosen at all. So I will stop it now. But again, for me, the chosen is a lot more than just the Bible. It's a lot more, for me, it's just helped me put things together in the Bible and give it attachment to. What I love is perspective. It's all about perspective on this, because this is how we move forward as a collective. God's creation is all of his souls, all of his children. Like the cells in our body, the souls on his earth. It only operates as fully optimal when it's all in harmony. Love, that's us. Take out fear. In the body, as soon as there's a disease, the cells work together to get rid of it. And some cells get rid of themselves through suicide because they don't feel welcome anymore. You see suicide in this world where people just feel lost and got nothing else. It's all mirrors. So if you can try to watch through different perspectives and see if you can just take some teachings. Certain times it doesn't resonate with people. I was really connected to it. And also it's the people that moan and whinge in the truth movement about certain things that are said, or they come back to the Bible. No. You're just seeing examples of that then. And what I loved about the way that Jesus did that bit was he had knowledge. He had knowledge of the text before, and he could use what they were arguing against them. And then they tried to do it also. Knowledge is power, people. And this is why I keep saying everyone in this truth movement that have stuck it out, gone all the way through, had to make the sacrifices, had to go through the hard times, are so equipped to being leaders of the new world. And leading is sharing the message of truth. Leading is setting an example that you've created for yourself. Leading is being recognized as one of those people that done all this selfishly and self-fully for God. So yeah, for me it's magic. Then there was this one, and Matthew in the King James, and suddenly a woman who had a flow of blood for more than 12 years came from behind and touched the hem of his garment. For she said to herself, if only if I can touch his garment, I shall be made well. But Jesus turned around, and when he saw her, he said, be of good cheer, daughter, your faith has made you well. And the woman has made well from that hour. So if I can continue just on one more bit on that. And behold, a woman who had suffered. Oh no, this is just showing a different example. That's one little chapter. And this is the full part of it. Where is it? I don't need to read it all, but I just want to show you that was a little snippet that people could share when you go to church. Look how much more sense this makes when you see it put together. It's the faith part in this part now, though. For me, God is so real as a knowing. It's like, what can God do through me? What can I now get an experience in my body and see God work its magic? The more I know about my body, the more God can take over, and I get an understanding what's going on. Understanding. So I'm getting excited of seeing, well, God is that powerful. What am I capable of in God's presence? This is helping another way of just showing faith from the smallest of things that other people, by the way, will say, no, that can't be. No, that's not right. They only say that because they don't know, they haven't experienced it. And even if you've had an experience with no concept before, you end up forgetting it. You have no way to remember something that you haven't experienced before.
Come on, everyone. Let us through. Everyone. Pressing matter up ahead, please. Let us through.
Everyone, make room.
Stay back, everyone.
Teacher!
Our rabbi has a pressing matter ahead.
Teacher! No. Please, no. No. One thread. Just a fringe. One touch. One thread. Just the fringe. One touch. One thread. Just the edge. Only a thread.
You! I know you! Get away from him!
Stop it, please.
Rabbi Yusuf! Rabbi Yusuf! This woman bleeds. She is unclean. We removed her.
Please. I promise I won't touch him. I just need to...
Woman, please, we can help you, but not now.
Sorry. Try tomorrow.
Oh, please, just a moment. Just scarf.
What's going on? What's wrong? Who touched me?
Everybody back.
I asked the question. Who touched me?
Master, the crowds are pressing in all around you like this, and you're asking who touched you? They all have.
Someone touched me. I felt that power went out of me. Whoever touched me, come forward.
Teacher.
It was me. Just the fringe of your garment, only the edge, I promise. You are not unclean.
Why my garment?
I'm sorry. I know I should have asked. But if you touched me, it would make you ritually unclean according to the law. I was sick. I was sick for 12 years. I bled and no one could stop it. But I believed if I could just touch a piece of your garment. And I was right. I was right. Thank you.
Who told you I could heal?
A man from the pool. And he was right. The blood has ceased.
My daughter.
I'm no one's daughter anymore.
Look up. Yes, you are. Daughter. It wasn't my piece of clothing that healed you.
But it was instant. I felt it right away.
I know, but it wasn't this. It was your faith.
Teacher, she was bleeding so long. We can take her.
She is clean. You have blessed me today. And I know. My daughter, I know it has been a fight for you for so long. You must be exhausted. Go now in peace. Your faith has made you well. I wish I could stay here longer, but I have business to attend to. Someone else has faith like yours. But I'm so glad that we found each other.
Hey there, it's Dallas from the Creator.
Oh, I love that. It relates to all what's going on in the world now. Started watching The Chosen, gives you chills. Yet Jesus restricts the truth to Christians only. Where are you getting that from, though, Nikki? Where are you getting that from? It's Christ. Don't worry about the label Christian. It's Christ. We're all children of Christ. It's not a restriction. People have opened up to spiritually New Age. Some call it, I call it pure souls. Yeah, the New Age thing that there's people in fear. When they say New Age, they're a hypocrite for saying that. If we've evolved and we've understood how the body works, then things always update. Everything changes the whole time. What I loved about that for me, and it was my confirmation, is the faith aspect. No one else can have the faith like you do. People have faith and you can be inspired, but your faith has to come from you. And usually when people have rock bottom, or people have these awakening moments and stuff, that's when they get their knowings. And it's almost like a one-off. This is every day. If you treat your life as the soul that rises up every day, you get a new experience each day. Live each day like that with faith. Ask and you will receive. It's take some time out for yourself, your soul, God. Appreciate, notice. All these things will start taking place for even more. And it was things like that where what I loved, and I feel it's important, is when someone else notices you. When someone else has made a comment and it's like, well, they recognized it. They saw what I did. It makes you feel appreciated. And instantly you get that rush. And it's that, what do I say? It's the feeling of knowing that you are enough and someone else has seen it and recognized it to say it. It's powerful. And he even said, this woman's clean. He speaks for her. They're the sort of things when did the talk on the messengers, these are what our roles are going to be. We see the good in all people. All the hard things that we've all gone through, yeah, we've all gone through it. You can tell me your story and you can make it as descriptive as you like. We've all got these moments to it. Brave to be telling your story. We've all got one. If we're comparing yours is worse than mine and yours is hard, you'll be there all day. So for me, it just starts helping people see that we are in this together. This is a part of something bigger. This is a message that has been shared down. Let me go on to the last one that I wanted to finish with on today. Was here. So this was quite a nice one as well. Let me see what else is on there. This is a great series, emotional, tearful. Love this. Makes you feel like you know them better. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Laurie. Good to see you. It's all of this is education. And remember, we can never get the full truth, so it's helping. And there's going to be an updated Bible. I'm pretty convinced at this time, after everything that we've gone through, after all the reveals come in, after we see how the new world starts looking and how we are safe and how we are children of God, there'll be complete knowings then. Everything will completely transform, completely shift. We all have to go through this darkness first of all to get that soul slap. So Psalm 77, and this is from the Old Testament. And I really like the way that they introduced this scene into the program. And a lot of people that preach Jesus won't talk about the Old Testament at all, whatsoever. My understanding Old Testament, New Testament has been cleared up a lot more with Jesus found a way that showed how some of that was a bit limiting. And it was only limiting based on the way that people lived before. And when people do go out and people do connect, there is other ways. That's why traveling is so important, to go to different cultures now, which we're all able to do, to learn about everywhere around the world and how things are done. And you'll see that you have two completely different ways of living, yet each way will show that it works for those people. You search blue zones, again, that word blue, there's around 7 spots around the world where they live the longest. They've all got different diets, but they live the longest. It's all about community, but more than anything else, it's that faith, it's that knowing that they do. Imagine their conversation. We live the longest. We're the healthiest. We always outlive everyone else. That's something they've taken as a truth. So you continue that. So what I liked about this, there was meant to be a performance for the king, and the guy come up with a way of how to enhance the message. And this, when they talk about meditation and stuff as well, this has got meditation in it, but this is if you find it challenging to times. I just think it's nice to listen to with the men on the back. And then I'm going to share on my next talk a few more things that we can go back to. What I also loved about The Chosen on season 3 was one of the wives of the disciples wasn't well. She in the end went to go for healing and went to another ministry where they went through the Torah and went through the old text. And it wasn't just saying, look, this is just Jesus, it's just this way. It's no, you take what you can from it. And this is a message for all of us. There is a message in everything for us. We just have to take the time to be open to receive it first, to be clear of what it is that we want. We want things to change, but like when people say they want to be better and feel better, most people don't know what that feeling is. What is that feeling for you to say, I am better now? What is it? You can imagine what you look like. You're smiling. You're on a beach. So what is that feeling now? How does your soul know what you truly want if you don't know what that feeling is? Again, meditation, you can take yourself there. So.
I cry aloud to God, and He will hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out, without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, my spirit faints. You hold my eyelids open. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I consider the days of old, the years long ago. I said, let me remember my song in the night. Let me meditate in my heart. I will appeal to this, to the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great like our God? You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your might among the peoples. You with your arm redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. When the waters saw you, O God, when the waters saw you, they were afraid. Indeed, the deep trembled. The clouds poured out water. The skies gave forth thunder. Your arrows flashed on every side. The crash of your thunder was in the whirlwind. Your lightnings lighted up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea, your path through the great waters. Yet your footprints were unseen.
So I thought that was quite a nice one to finish on there. The beautiful thing with that as well, it's creation on creation. So again, words are okay. But when you add words to music, especially when it's done like that, it makes it more powerful. You engage. So all these things that we're seeing in today's world, yeah, it's not from the scriptures, but it's still God's creation. When you said Jesus restricts the truth to Christians only, he was Jewish, though. It was to the Jewish people even back then. And he spoke to a number of the other people. He even was reaching out to the Romans that had their own different faiths and beliefs as well. So the character of Jesus, or the stories of Jesus, it was to open to all. That's, I think, the big point of all this, is that no matter what label, what t-shirt you're wearing, where you come from, if you're being with God, that's the only truth. And that's the difference between being and acting. When people are still doing things, and another thing for being God is when people deliberately go out their way to stop others, to deceive others, that's not being God. So it says, if we go back to this one, there was one here that it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. And you could be rich in education, rich in knowledge, rich in wealth of money. But you have to be with God. You can't act that. And that was the faith of a mustard seed. and that was the Psalm 77. So yeah, it was just to re-emphasize some of the teachings. But this is the powerful one, Book of Luke. Behold, the kingdom of God is within you. And this is the lie that they changed it to. The kingdom of God is in your midst. Psalms, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Jesus replied, Book of John, is it not written in your law? I have said you are gods. And then this one I love. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship the spirit and in truth. Book of John. And there's loads like this, people. It's beautiful. But all these are in the books, especially the Gospels that people like to quote. And then they still argue against it, even though it's telling us in there. So coming back to the Chosen, 100% recommend to watch that. The other one I've said on the Messengers was the Messiah. I know you like that one, you said, Nikki. That's, for me, it's great as well, because it does give you a real, more of an up-to-date world we're living in. Same sort of thing, though, not accepting it, not looking with their own eyes. People that are meant to be priests and preachers and stuff, their faith is the worst. Like, they literally have none. The bad habits that we have, the things that we do against each other, the horrible, the anger that comes out of people, it is the world we live in. So my question again, how would you know if Christ has come down now? How would you know? What would you look out for the signs and recognize it? Do you think he's going to come down in the same robes and the way it looked like? It doesn't make any sense when people say it like that. So people are waiting, but Christ is here every day. The knight in shining armor, at night it sets the sun. It rises up within us, God's kingdom. It even tells us in the Bible. So if you accept Christ into your life and you're waiting for him, just know that he's there already. His energy, his spirit, his consciousness. So direct experience from working with people of different faiths, they do not relate to Christ at all. So it is restricted. It's the teachings, though. It's how you interpret it and how you put a message out there. For a lot of the, like, simplify life down to ego or soul. I think there was another one that I did. Simplify life down to ego or soul. Which is easier to say, your sins are forgiven, or to say, get up and walk? And that's in the book of Matthew. So a choice. You can say, all your sins are forgiven, or get up and walk, heal yourself. You have a choice to say it all. So simplify life down to a choice is a teaching. That's effectively the same word, positive or negative. The way that you deliver a sentence to someone. Focus on the now and going forward. That's still truth. So we don't have to, the word of Jesus Christ, you can still take it and put it into your own words, add it into your own stories, make it relevant for the people that you are speaking to, and then bring it back. Do you know where I got that from? Do you know where that inspired me from? Do you know that teaching? And that's where, again, otherwise it's the attachments of labels. So when we go into conversations, if you're starting off in the label, first of all, or Trump or politics, you're fighting a battle before you even got into it. That's again for the meditations. For me, it's getting people just to come and do a meditation. That's the hardest part. Once they're in there, they get it. And I know there's some people that do, they say they do them, or I never see them on the call, but they say that they mess it. I can tell they haven't done it by their description. There's no feelings in it at all. I can tell, and it's very obvious. And yeah, very obvious. And just the words that people choose to use, like, you can't deceive the truth. So I encourage people, you're a scribe. You're a messenger. You're full of knowledge and full of experience throughout this. So it has to come from you. You can take another story, but we're relying on another man. It has to come through you. All of this does. So if we find it hard, that's our challenge. That's our test. That's been presented to us to find another way. To go back and go through what else, what other example? Okay, let me try this one. If you read most of the New Testament, you would see that the Chosen is biblically flawed. Like, whatever you say biblically flawed is connecting me more with the book of Gospels already. To say biblically flawed, you're in fear. That straight away, and that's an example how I'm saying it, people. ignoring everything that we just discussed to say, oh, it's biblically flawed. You're putting it in a way for people to understand, to get closer to Christ, not closer to the book of words, Christ, the stories. I can tell you now that I can connect with the book of Matthew much more. I still have to go and read the word myself. I don't need to be spoon-fed every chapter to every book, because that's not how it works. Because if you want to go down that route, every priest is biblically flawed when they tell the stories to their group, to their churchgoers. They don't tell it the full way. They give their own story on top of it. I had the one guy saying he's eating healthy in Arizona, where he's having Chick-fil-A, and he have it with no mayo, it's just natural, it's plain. And I'm like, okay, it's his own way. So everything's biblically flawed if you want to go down that route. You're in fear. That to make that comment, you're in fear. It's a holding on, it's negativity. It's not listening to what we're talking about here and the bigger things. All of this is within us. You don't need the book to find God. The book can help you, point you towards God, and make you understand certain things in terms of your behaviors to be more godly because of other people being able to share their way. But to say it's biblically flawed, that's not the purpose of the chosen, to make it spot on. And to say that anyway is, we've only been told the Bible through gatekeepers and messengers. Look at the world that we're being presented to. That's all been lies. All the news, mainstream media, that's all been lies. All that's biblically flawed. All of it is. It's a whole world has been full of lies. We have to take what we can from it. When I saw The Messiah, when it first came out, it was great. This time watching it was more powerful as I was observing with more comprehension. And this is a beauty of when we do read books, when we do go back and revisit things from our perspective, it changes. We watch it differently. We take new things. The amount of books that I go back through and I take a different thing every time from it. It just didn't hit me the last time. That's the beauty of truth. We take it. We take it. So again, thank you all for tuning in. My encouragement, as I said at the start of this with the Epstein thing, is that's just one thing. Trump's already dumped loads of the stuff out now on the election fraud. It's the Epstein name that's getting everyone paying attention, because it's sex trafficking, it's with kids and stuff, all the celebrities. But it's just pulling it more together. Bill Barr, you're hearing the election fraud, but Bill Barr's dad was the one that employed Epstein as a mathematician teacher at a school. It all links. So there's loads of things where we're going to see it all starts linking now. You're seeing a lot of the politicians that are doing the interviews and stuff, like they're not good. They're being exposed too. So I encourage people is to please confirm stuff yourself through a number of sources. Don't just take it and repeat it. When we just say, oh, he's on the list and he's on the list, pay attention to that now as well. It's lazy. And the thing is, I'm saying lazy now because you're watching this here doing work. Don't get into that lazy spot. I'm convinced most of you don't anyway. It's people that choose not even to be able to watch something that is educational. They're the lazy one, but it's the moaning, the whinging, and everything that comes with that also. But right now, we're going to be soon, where all these things are coming out, we're going to have to deal with people going, see, I told you so. You're going to see things where you're like, whoa, I'm completely wrong on that. People come out. Then we've also been told people will be arrested undercover. So we have to wait through it all, ride it out, enjoy it. Take notes, be the scribe for this moment. You can always start describing your experience now. What a great time to do it in the middle of the Great Awakening. And then meditation. It's the gateway to your kingdom. Start making some time for yourself. Start your day with just some positive words as you wake up. I'm here. Thank you. Talk to God. Speak to your body. Massage your body. How does your body know what a good feeling feels like? Well, people talk about the feeling when they get new bed sheets put on, they lie in their bed. You feel, well, explain that to yourself. Skincare makes more sense. When your skin feels soft, your body knows how to keep it. Then it can remember, that's what you mean by good skin. Remember, you have to have it. And in that moment of presence, you say, this is it. This is what I want. This is what I'm talking about. So get creative with the energy that takes place within you. So as always, people, sending lots of love, lots of gratitude, and a super Christ Thank you, because there's loads of this energy going around now. I'll see you all very soon.